Hey everyone, it's Jason, Earl of Fife Games. I wanted to talk about like what we're doing currently. I haven't had a video like this in a bit, where I talk about like kind of our plans and so forth. So obviously these are all tentative. I'm very bad at keeping a schedule as far as that goes. I just if I had more time devoted just to this and everything, then I would be able to hopefully follow a schedule a little better. I'm not really good at that. And so also I kind of change my mind about what I want to do next as I'm doing it. That's why I have like 20 half-finished projects, sort of thing. So I want to give you kind of our best guess, kind of our plans for the future and whatnot. So the first thing that I can talk about is something that I've told other people about and publicly announced it, and that's our next Kickstarter. It's the second book for Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old. It's called Secret of the Dark Waters. Just like the first book, Secrets of the Sacred Stone, it's going to be full of lore and GM facing lore as well as ideas and stuff, and then, of course, an adventure and new rules for heroes and hardships. Um, that will probably release it for another system in the future. What that is, I do not know. Right? We did for Secrets of the Sacred Stone. Originally, it was for 5e. We did. I'm not sure I'm going to continue that. So whatever we do, probably if it's not 5e, then it will be Secrets of the Sacred Stone and um, Secrets of the Dark Waters for that system. There's a couple things I have in mind, and I'm not sure where we're exactly going with that yet, but rest assured that that will be coming out later. But Heroes and Hardships is first. So a couple things you might see in there that that I'm playing with as far as rules go. You're going to see new rules for more like wealth, more specific details in that than there is in the Heroes and Hardships core rulebook. So you're going to see a currency converter. You're going to see, like so instead of using currency points, which is a generic way of just deciding the worth of something without like saying it's 5 gold. It's because number one, that's tough to do in a generic system when you don't know what unit of unit of money that you're going to use. So you don't know if it's a U.S. dollar or a euro or gold or space bucks or whatever, right? So we have a specific thing in this book that tells you, hey, it uses gold, silver, copper, tin, and something that's for this setting specifically called Old Crown gold bars, which are a little neat thing. So they are that's in there. I have basically I worked on a random generator for gems. So there's a certain amount of precious stones that are actually in the 10 Halls of Splendor, and some of those, I give you kind of this loot generator. Basically, it talks, gives options for several of the types of gems: diamonds, rubies, sapphires, and a couple others, where there's some variability to how much that thing is worth and why, right? Depending on what the gem is. And I've done a little research on kind of those gems in general, the precious stones, diamonds, rubies, sapphires, and many more actually. And so you will have an option to use those. So I have like a kind of a generic version which says, your your gem is worth 25% more or 25% less, something like that. And then I have a specific one where it's like a diamond has these characteristics and it increases or decreases its value based on whatever that is, and you can generate that randomly or by hand, whatever you want. Also, um, I am fairly sure we're going to be adding how to use geometric shapes as far as on the hex grid. So how do you do that? How do you use a cone? How do you use a radius, a straight line, based based on that? And so new rules can say, hey, you're doing a 4 hex cone, right? To do something, things like that. So it's going to add that. Then there's going to be other things as well that are still in process. So hopefully that is going to come out in April sometime on Kickstarter. I will put the link in the description. Please follow it if you haven't already. I like to have our follower count a bit higher than what it is now, so please spread the word if you can. I would like to have this have a pretty good launch, and so we can not only spread Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old, but also Heroes and Hardships. So if you're a fan of that game, please give this link to other people and have them follow. You can actually see just about the entire campaign on the front page of the pre-launch page. It's almost all the exact same, except there's a couple things that I leave out on that that isn't really important for the pre-launch page, but you can see just pretty much everything that's going to be offered in the game, in the book, and so on. And so just here, it's going to be a hardcover book. So I'm going away from the soft covers for my 100-ish pages, and so there'll be small hardcovers instead. And Secrets of the Sacred Stone is moving that way as well. So you'll be able to get Secrets of the Sacred Stone in a hardcover as well. If you've already purchased Secrets of the Sacred Stone in softcover, I am trying to find a way to give you some sort of not necessarily a discount. I don't know if I can do that through Kickstarter exactly, but some sort of reward for repurchasing it if you wanted to. So it's not like oh well, I bought this in softcover, now I have to buy it in hardcover, and I just wasted the money that I spent on softcover. So I don't want that to be the case. So I want to give you incentive to go back and buy the hardcover because it's going to be hopefully nicer. So you're going to have that option, and if you have thoughts of what you can do there, right? I'm not just gonna, I can't just give like $20 back to you or something like that, right? But I want to offer either credit or free stuff, things like that, if that's what you decided to do. Okay, so there's that. This month, I want to kind of start spinning the wheels back on Patreon, getting a feel of what the Patreon subscribers might want to see, so I can produce those. I know that there was some talk about liking the option of um, doing the things I did before, which was like I would give you a couple quick mechanical things like a new monster and a you know, new gear and new abilities, things like that, and just kind of work that in. And it's like a couple pages a month, things like that. So that's possible. I also want to expand it and see if we can do a little more with that. Yeah. What else? I think that I don't know if it's going to be released this month, but there was a request for somebody on the Discord like a month ago or so to do a book of, you know, t- mostly animal adversaries, so like bears and stuff like that. And I think that's something I can start working on. I think that's something that I probably wouldn't release in a Kickstarter format necessarily. So that would just go straight to Drive-Thru RPG as just a digital release. That's this month in April, and I know Scale Mail is getting closer and closer to being ready to go to print. So if you've backed scale mail, you should be seeing something within the next couple months. I would suspect. I think it's going through its last editing stages now. So we already have a plan of where we're going to print and how we're going to do shipping and things like that. But we need to get to just the right point before we send out surveys and that sort of thing, because we don't want to do it too early and not have the required information we need to know how much we need to charge for shipping and such. And I don't know what the ramifications are on, current gas prices being outrageous, and how that will impact shipping. I think it probably won't catch up anytime soon. Typically, I've never seen my fulfillment company, and I'll just use them as an example. I've never seen them say in the middle of the year, "Hey, our rates are going up." Right? It's more like, "Hey, the next year our rates went up X amount." So I don't, and I'm not using, we're not using my fulfillment centers very much on this project. Only if you also, for the first time, bought Heroes and Hardships. So I need to ship my book as well as Mike sending scale mail to you. So we'll use it in those instances, but typically it's going to come directly from the printer. So you should see that in the next couple months, and I think you'll be happy with that. I've seen a lot of the proofing and stuff, and it looks really good. Um, so that's like it for the month, I would say. That's going to be a lot right there. So just expect to see. Secrets of the Dark Water later in April. It's possible it gets pushed down the line if I don't feel comfortable that we're going to have a good launch or something like that. But the plan is late April for now to launch. And it'll probably be a 3-week campaign like I typically do for things. So that is where we are for April. In general, I do have a plan in place. Oh, one other thing in April, sorry, I meant to mention. I do plan on releasing Heroes and Hardships Core Rulebook version 1.8. I've sat on a bunch of changes just to see if any more came in, and I've sat on them for a long time, like to update the errata from 1.7 to 1.8. So I do plan on releasing 1.8 this month, I believe. I do want to kind of look through and see if there's anything that needs another update and then probably put it in there. But hopefully by the end of the month, 1.8 will come out. There's not a huge amount of changes at this point, but there are some things that we should do in there for clarity. I don't. I would have to look at my list to tell you what it is offhand because it's been there for probably over a year. So 1.8 will come soon, hopefully in April. So that is the plan there. So that's another thing. So April's going to be pretty busy, but a lot of it is like smaller things in addition to the Kickstarter launch. So what else? So in general, for the rest of this year, I would like to. So here's the thing. My plan, just to get it out there, is to produce as much content as I can and kind of hold it back. So, for instance, after Dungeons and Demon Caverns Old, Secrets of the Dark Water is released, I'll finish that. But at the same time, I'll be working in conjunction with other writers as well as myself and other artists to produce different books that will come out after that. And so, what I want to do is have 3 or 4 projects mostly finished before I launch my next Kickstarter, so I can get into the cycle of being able to launch things on Kickstarter every couple months in general, and then fulfill easily because most everything is done. Most of the art's done. So that'll probably be the big thing, right? In order to fund that art, I probably, ideally, I wouldn't have all the art done ahead of time, just because I don't really know what the financial ramifications of that Kickstarter project is going to be offhand. So, like for instance, I do spend probably at least half my art budget before the Kickstarter's ever released. So you have to have some sort of a leap of faith to get started and get the ball rolling, and to even like market your game, you have to have spend some money to do that kind of thing. So that's where we are, and I can want to continue to do that. So I'll stack up several projects, have everything written, mostly laid out. Most, or I won't say most, but some of the art done, at least enough to get going, and everything ready marketing wise. So that's like the Kickstarter page and any other information I need to release for those games. And then once the game is the or the Kickstarter before it is finished, and then I can start, hey, announce the next one, and then start, once it's fulfilled, I can go ahead and launch the other one and try to get into this quick cycle of getting things out to you. And so for Heroes and Hardships and more, probably I will do like a iterative, like H&H, then something else, then H&H, then something else, then H&H, and something else. That way, we don't get Heroes and Hardships burnout really. So that's what I don't want to have happen. I don't want to have like, okay, I'm releasing Heroes and Hardships this month and that month and next month. So in 6 months you have three Heroes and Hardships Kickstarters or something like that. That's a lot for one system, so I'd rather do it like Heroes and Hardships, then Dragonbane, then Heroes and Hardships, then Mothership. And then I'm using those examples completely arbitrarily for the most part, but something around that line. And so I want to have those kind of stacked up and ready to go. And then so when I'm working on them, it's not a ton of work, and I can keep building the stuff that's like in the background waiting as well. So, but to do that, I need to build it all up beforehand. And so I might not release another Kickstarter this year. I don't know. But once I have three projects ready, I'm going to start that process. I think I've already have a lot of them in the works already, so I just have to choose what I want to do, and how much they have left um, to be done. And so, yeah, and I have, I have interest in a lot of different systems, as everybody knows, and I've released the stuff for 5e, Dragonbane, and Mothership as Kickstarters as well. So you might see some different stuff coming down the line other than those, and some of those too. 5e is a question mark. I don't really know about that. And just to be very transparent, one of the reasons is that I don't play 5e, so I need a lot of assistance with it to make it a good game, and so that costs money. So, where I can, reduce costs, it's ideal for some of those things. So, and there's other options out there that are popular and that I like and that are interesting to work on. So, Free League released a bunch of third-party licenses, completely open, not just community content programs, for like Forbidden Lands and both versions of Coriolis, and what else? One of their other games, oh, Symbaroum, as well as Dragonbane. So those are all on the table now. So that's good. So and I want to kind of explore and see what's out there, and see what makes sense, right? Ideally, when I run it for a lot of these, I won't say all, but for a lot of these setting adventures, as I call them, like Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old, the books, choosing one other system that goes along with it well is good, and kind of staying with that for all your books, right? And that's not going to be the case probably with this, just because I'm kind of getting out of the 5e realm. I don't really want to be in that business that much, for various reasons, one I just explained. But So you do that, and then so you have, let's just say it's 5e because it is for now. You have one that's 5e and Heroes and Hardships. Then the next one, let's say it's a Viking game, which I am working on a Viking game. So it's Heroes and Hardships as well as something else. So let's just say Worlds Without Numbers. Something like that. And so all your Viking stuff has that system and Heroes and Hardships, and then you just keep, doing more with various things. So you try to find a system that is something that you like, something that is you think is going to be popular enough to use, and something that you can create for. And so you kind of balance all those things out. Obviously, if you can't create for it, then you can't create for it. But um, so yeah, I think that that is the plan to kind of stack things up and then go from there. Um, the GM screen is kind of on pause for now. I'm going to reassess that in the future when we have a bigger Kickstarter. It is a problem right now because it would need international freight for sure, and that is probably going to be outrageously expensive now, if not, or in the future, if not now. I haven't like priced anything out like that, but that could be a thing that limits it. I don't know if there is, I haven't really looked. I'm sure there are printers in the US or in maybe one in the US, one in the EU that I could manage for having two different prints from two different people. Don't know. I would have to look at that. I don't know how much that makes sense. Foundry. The core system has been updated to version 13 on Foundry. So just to let you know, they are releasing version 14 today, and this is 4/1, not an April Fool's. At least maybe it was. Maybe it was. I got an email today saying it was going to be released today. So maybe it was April Fool's. I don't know. But 14 is coming. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that just yet, but the base system version 14 is out. Um, so Heroes and Hardships core, the core compendium will be coming out. It's going to be offered in the Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old, Kickstarter as well. And it's pretty much ready. Well, I won't say that. There's some work to do, but the systematic things is pretty much ready. It's like kind of the data entry we need to get done. I've been putting that off because I just have other things going on right now. So that will be a James and I thing, but it will be offered with this next Kickstarter, as well as modules for both Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old, Secrets of the Sacred Stone, and Secrets of the Dark Water. So they'll have compendia or they'll have their Foundry modules available through that too, so you can order those. So everything will be available for Foundry, and eventually everything will be available for Foundry. That's my goal, at least. So um, that's the things I'm working on right now. And also, you will see, you know, more things coming down the line for Heroes and Hardships. Just to give a very generic, answer. There's things I'm working on from Viking adventures and settings to sci-fi to sci-fantasy to high level fantasy type things. So yeah, I think you will see a bunch of different stuff come out. Hopefully, more. More to come, and more of a uh, more common release schedule. That's what I'm hoping. Hopefully I can get that all lined up, get things ready, and start releasing things more regularly. So that's the ideal. I think I don't have much more to discuss at this point that I know. I would just ask you to, if you're watching this, you're probably a Heroes and Hardships fan. So just let people know that might be interested. The link will be down in the description of this video. And have them follow, if they're interested, the Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old Secrets of the Dark Waters campaign. They can, if they've never seen Heroes and Hardships before or don't know anything about it, obviously point them to the Quick Start Guide. But also they can follow the campaign. They can actually look down through the promotion or the pre-launch page basically of the campaign and see everything about Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old, plus everything about Heroes and Hardships. And so if they wanted to make a decision on, if they have any interest in Heroes and Hardships or not, they can find that stuff there. So that's a good place to start. It has pretty much everything they would need to know there. So that's it for me for now. I'm hoping that this year is a year we can build up the company and up the offerings that we're going to have. And then so once we're ready, we'll be able to really get those out to everyone in a more, regular cadence, if you will. So I appreciate it, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye.